What is going on with you, YouTube? This is Regular Dave coming at you with another video. What's up, man? Y'all ain't seen this mug in a while. It's been a couple years since I've been on camera. But look, just bought a new house. I got my own space that I'm about to hopefully turn into like a dope little office. So maybe y'all be seeing his face again. We'll see. But felt compelled, rolled out of bed and said, let me make a video. What the hell? All right. Look, this video I'm making is something I wanted to make for like the last month. I just didn't get around to it because I was buying a house, doing all that. Now I'm in, we gonna make this, and it's actually still relevant because ESBC, they don't be releasing information very often. So this was like a roundtable they had over a month ago, and the comment that I think his name is Todd Grisham made, it like sent me over the top. But I like this guy. He's like the acquisition guy, I guess, for ESBC. But this thought process always seems to make its way into these simulation sports video games. Let's listen what he had to say.
Yeah, what do you think, Sonny? Obviously, we want, as he mentioned, hyper realism, but at the same time, it's a video game. It's supposed to be fun. When you play it, and when you or have this motion capture suit on, and you look at things, how real does it seem, and how much fun is it as a video game player?
All right, so how fun is the game? What are you guys doing to make the game fun? This is a thought that should never infiltrate a room when a simulation sports game is being made. Like, he don't make the game, so I'm not saying this guy, but there's always people in there with this idea, and this idea is a very old school idea, but I hate it. Look, for some of y'all, I'm old as hell. Okay, let's not just beat around the bush. I'm old as shit. Look, before the internet, I remember there's a video game magazine called Game Pro. Some of y'all might remember it, right? But when they at the end of the magazine, they rated games, right? I always remember you cut to the end to see what if the game was good or not. They had categories, graphics, whatever. One of them was fun factor, right? Because that was a thing in video games, was fun factor. How fun is it? Yeah, the graphics are good, but the game controls suck. It's not fun. Okay, fun factor. And that thought has always been in the video game industry, and that thought should not be in simulation video games because it's already cut out for you for a simulation video game, right? The fun factor is the simulation. The fun factor is the realism. Okay, so really for a simulation video game, it should be how real is it? That's the let's stop because this is gonna get weird, but I gotta go into some detail. This is gonna get weird. The realness is the fun. The end. Okay? I mean, aside from the controls not working and the game being buggy, the realism is the fun. The realistic behavior. I hate using the word simulation. It's turned into all kind of things over the past couple years. But the realism is the fun. Now, let me give you an idea on how I believe this thinking can permeate a simulation sports game, and it can turn it into something I don't want. Now, look, I haven't played ESBC. I've just seen the gameplay that they've released. And yeah, some of the gameplay I do have my issues with. Game looks like it's going to be dope because they are building it around realism, but you do have these thoughts in the game. So the hurt system, like when the game wants to notify you that somebody's been hurt, I do not like how they're doing it, right? Blood shows up on the screen. I'll put it up, but blood and veins show up on the screen. I'm like, this is not a cohesive idea for the realism in the game. Like, whose perspective are we watching from? And whose perspective will we ever see where there's blood on the screen and veins, right? I mean, it's not first person, so we're not looking from the eyes of the boxer. I just do not understand the creative process. And this is how we're going to notify somebody that they're hurt. Let me give you an idea of, for me, a proper way in a combat sports games, and this goes for UFC, boxing, the proper way, and this would improve gameplay so much to notify somebody's hurt. All right, this is how I said it's gonna get weird, but I be thinking like this. All right, so if you say, hey, how are we gonna let them know that they're hurt, right? And somebody's like, let's put blood and veins on the screen. To me, that's That's lazy. That's easy. That's simple because it's been done over and over. Maybe it was a cool effect when like gaming was new, right? Fight Night would do it, and then UFC is still doing like a weird system when it notifies you're hurt. But to me, a realistic way that would improve gameplay. Let me spell out the scenario, all right? And I'd be thinking like this, and I'd be like, man, I'm a weirdo, but whatever. All right, so there should be, of course, different levels of hurt, right? Different levels, all right? So let me ask you this. If you've been watching the UFC, if you've been watching a boxing telecast, how many times has one of the announcers said, oh, he's hurt? And then nothing ever materializes. You never know if he was actually hurt. His opponent never rushes in or really like cues that, oh, this dude is hurt. The other announcer never, like, it just goes nowhere. That happens, I would say, every fight, especially UFC. He's hurt. He's buzzed. And it happens every fight. Not like every telecast is going to happen at least once where there's an announcer that says he's hurt. Because a dude can be hurt, and there's not always things you're going to be able to identify. But there's something with that announcer where they think they saw something, right? So check this gameplay scenario. You're hurt. You're buzzed. You get hit with a punch, you're buzzed. Nothing happens on the screen. Nothing happens, right? The only thing that happens is your controller vibrates, right? Because it's you. You're the fighter. Your controller is vibrating at a whatever level, right? Not the highest level, but enough to say, oh, your fighter's buzzed. You're buzzed. You cannot take too many more big punches. Too much more punishment, right? The other fighter, he don't know. He's in his house doing whatever. He don't know, right? Has no idea. Okay, well, what's the fun in that? All right. Well, if you know you can't take too many more punches, say it's strategy. Say you've been fighting on your front foot the whole time, going forward, being aggressive, but you know you can't take too much more punishment. You start fighting a different way. That person that you're playing against is like, hey, man, he's been coming forward the whole time. Now he's backing up and being defensive. He must be buzzed, right? Because that would be an indication. Or you might fight the same and fight well. He may never know. It happens all the time in boxing. But lose the veins, lose the blood on the screen, right? There's everything in this game, in these games, especially a boxing game. It should just be visual of what the fighter's doing. How many different ways can we be notified that somebody's hurt that don't require veins and blood on the screen, right? How many different ways? Let's see. Let me count just a couple, and there's a lot. All right, the guy does a dance. You know he's hurt. Feet is, what do they say? He's on Queer Street. Okay, that's one way. The guy fights different. That's another way. The guy grimaces. That's another way. The guy gets hit with a body shot, and all of a sudden, he's favoring his body. That's another way. The list goes on notifying a fighter being hurt, right? That's not the special effects fun factor, right? But that's the realistic way to do it, is go through it, and that is going to it's just going to branch out and affect gameplay in so many different ways, right? But that's the thought that should be in the room, in my personal opinion. I've never been in one of these rooms. I don't even know what it's like. I don't know if somebody says, oh, let's put blood and veins on the screen. I don't know how that works. But I'm just saying, realism should always be the foundation for these simulation sports games, and there should never be fun in the conversation, because that is the fun. In my mind, a lot of times it's far out. When I be thinking, like the other day, I was just sitting up thinking, like, all right, what would be a dope get up system in ESBC, right? They already have one mapped out. It seems to be okay. But I was thinking, like, all right, see, they need me in one of these rooms. Let's just keep it a buck. Like, you get knocked down, gotta be a 2-part system. I watch a lot of boxing. I try to watch boxing every weekend if there's a fight. It's gotta be a 2-part system. It has to be the get up, and it has to be the are you okay system, right? And those should be inputs, right? So say you got a guy, his attributes is heart. He got a lot of heart, right? Normally dudes who got heart, they don't get counted out to 10, right? They normally get to their feet. They might get up to their feet fast, but once they get up, who knows what the hell's gonna happen if they're really hurt, right? So say you get knocked down, you got a guy with a lot of hurt. It's easy to get up, right? Even though you're hurt, into the fight type hurt, it's easy to get up. The hard part is the second part. When the ref is like, are you okay? Come to me, walk here, walk there. The controls are hard. You wobbling all over the screen like a deer. the referee waves it off. How many times have we seen that? I mean, you could just go down the list of fights. We've seen that, right? With the referee waving it off because he's not okay. Think Roy Jones, Antonio Tarver. Roy Jones was knocked damn near through the rope. His head was through the rope. He had the head to get his head back through the rope, stand up. His hands was at his side, wobbling. The referee hugs him. No. In a video game, that moment can be a whole bunch of different ways, but if you factor, I'm off on a tangent, but I'm just thinking like one day I got to be in one of these rooms. But if you factor that in the video game where the controls, you're trying to show the referee you're all right by whatever meters are on the screen, and your fighter dancing around, or maybe he does show he's all right, and then he gets pummeled to who knows what. But all right, those are the things I think about because I just want these games to be as realistic as possible. All right, my first video back in a while, face cam, I got weird. All right, man, get active in the comments, man. Let me know what y'all think. Do I be going off the deep end with with realistic sports games? That's all I really want. I'll get at you guys another time. Peace.